Alabama football is known for producing quality NFL talent at many different positions, especially the running back. Names like Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, Derrick Henry, and more recently Najee Harris were all huge names during their time at Tuscaloosa, and some have had pretty good NFL careers. These running backs were all incredible in their own right, but what if I told you that Alabama actually had the most talented running back room in NCAA history, and it was this century? In 2013, they had an absolute wealth of quality running backs in the running back room. Four of these guys stood out the most, as they had Derrick Henry, TJ Yeldon, Kenyon Drake, and Alvin Kamara. Those guys were all on the roster in 2013, and let's take some time to quickly meet each one, talk about their time at Alabama, and what eventually would happen to all these guys. We're going to start with the most well-known guy on the list, and that is Derrick Henry. He was born and raised in Florida, and he had so much promise at a young age. He'd go on to set the national high school rushing record as he rushed for over 12,000 yards in his 4-year career, while averaging more than 8 yards per carry. He scored a total of 153 touchdowns during his career, and he's one of the most decorated high school football players of all time. He's one of the highest recruits in his class, as he was a 5-star recruit according to ESPN, and the #1 athlete in the country. He had his fair share of offers from top-tier programs, and he'd eventually commit to Alabama over Georgia, Notre Dame, and many other prestigious schools. His number was eventually retired by his high school, and he is a Florida legend. Henry played sparingly as a true freshman, as he'd only have 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. His best game came as he went for 100 yards against Arkansas, but big things were ahead for Derrick. As a sophomore, he earned a bigger role in the Tide offense as he rushed for 990 yards and 11 touchdowns, setting the stage for a monster junior campaign. Henry would deliver as a junior, rushing for over 2,000 yards as he'd go on to win the Heisman Trophy as well. Alabama went on to win the national title during that season, and Henry's style of headstrong, fearless running captivated the college football world. Henry made the obvious decision to declare for the NFL draft, and many teams were interested in him. He was drafted by the Titans in the 2nd round, and the rest is history. He did have a slow start to his NFL career, but right now he is arguably the best running back in the professional leagues, and he's a textbook example of what Alabama produces in a running back. Next, we have TJ Yeldon. He grew up in Alabama and played football and ran track for his high school. He was actually originally a slot receiver, but he eventually gained mass and made the transition to the running back position. Over the next 3 years, Yeldon would develop into a solid prospect, earning a 5-star rating and was evaluated as the 2nd overall running back in his class. He was an All-American and made the difficult decision to commit to Alabama over other powerhouses in the area. Yeldon would contribute immediately for the Tide as he'd record over 1,000 yards on the ground, splitting time in the backfield with Eddie Lacy. By his sophomore year, Yeldon had emerged as one of the premier backs in the country, earning the attentions of scouts and fans alike. He finished his Tide career with over 3,300 yards on the ground and declared for the 2015 NFL Draft to put him and his family in a better position. Just like Henry, he was drafted in the 2nd round of the 2015 draft by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was named the starting running back over Toby Gerhart and Denard Robinson, and fans were quite excited to see his debut and how he could contribute to the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. He started out slow for the Jags and did battle some injuries, but he really came into his own later on in the season and became a capable runner. He never lived up to the expectations though, and would eventually sign with the Bills in 2019 and is right now currently a free agent. He did not see the level of success that Henry had, but he still had a solid NFL career for himself. Next, we go on to Kenyon Drake. He was born and raised in Powder Springs, Georgia, and just like all the other guys on the list, he hailed from the South. He played football for Hillgrove High School and was named the Gatorade Football Player of the Year in the state of Georgia, which is a big deal. He was a 4-star recruit and committed to the Crimson Tide over the local power of Georgia. He played in 12 games as a true freshman, scoring 5 touchdowns while backing up Eddie Lacy and Yeldon. He rushed for 694 yards and 8 scores as a sophomore, and he looked primed for a breakout junior campaign. Unfortunately, he would hit a bump in the road during his junior year, as he'd have a gruesome injury against Ole Miss, but this did not hold him back. He hit the rehab process hard and came back stronger than he did before, and had a solid senior campaign, helping the Tide win an NCAA championship as they beat Clemson, and he had a 95-yard kickoff return touchdown in the 4th quarter. He was drafted by the Dolphins in the 3rd round of the 2016 NFL Draft, making him the 3rd running back selected overall. Drake played in all 16 games as a rookie, which wasn't a whole lot, but he would record 179 rushing yards along with 2 touchdowns. He also became a factor in special teams for the Dolphins and had a 96-yard kickoff return during a win over the New York Jets. He'd eventually be traded to the Cardinals during the 2019 season, and he had 2 career years with the Cardinals, and now he has signed a deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, where he will be alongside another Alabama running back in Josh Jacobs. Drake will actively contribute to the Raiders' offense, and not only will Alabama star Josh Jacobs be there, but also Henry Ruggs. Finally, we have Alvin Kamara. He grew up in Norcross, Georgia, and played his high school football at nearby Norcross High School. He rushed for more than 2,000 yards and 26 touchdowns as a senior, and he earned national recognition and was one of the most sought-after prospects in the country. He was rated as a 4-star recruit and one of the highest quality athletes in the country. He decided to take his talents to Tuscaloosa, but after being buried on the depth chart and getting into some off-the-field issues, Kamara decided to go to Hutchinson Community College. While there, he became an absolute star and decided he would be going to Tennessee. He averaged 6.2 yards per carry during his volunteer career and would score 7 touchdowns for them. A lot of people put head coach Butch Jones in hot water as he continually started Jalen Hurd over Alvin Kamara. It's hard to argue that Hurd was not a good player, as he was one of the best running backs in Tennessee high school football history and definitely had a great career there, but there was rumors that Hurd wanted to switch to wide receiver, and if you didn't know, he would end up transferring to Baylor where he would become a wide receiver and even got drafted by the 49ers as a receiver. In retrospect, Hurd should have made that move, and Kamara should have been the running back 1 for the Volunteers. Despite not playing a ton and not having a super spectacular time with the Vols, he was drafted after the 2016 season in the 3rd round by the Saints. He's had a phenomenal NFL career so far as a guy who can run the ball and catch balls out of the backfield. He's a top 3 running back in the NFL, and he's likely going to be a star for years to come. Drew Brees isn't there anymore, so we could see his numbers drop, or we could see him get more carries, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Alabama has had many great running backs since then and before then, but this running back room of Kamara, Yeldon, Drake, and Henry was arguably the best of all time. Yeldon started a while for the Jaguars, Henry's become a superstar for the Titans, Drake has been a starter for years now, and Kamara is one of the game's top players. It's hard to come up with a running back room with more talent than that, and more professional success. Josh Jacobs, Bo Scarborough, Najee Harris, and Damian Harris were the guys after that, and now they have a log jam of running backs competing for the starting spot in 2021, and it's going to be fascinating to see who comes out of that. This running back room was absolutely incredible, and let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think that's the best running back room of all time, and if you don't believe that, give me a counter argument down in the comment section, and also name another loaded position group that I could take a look at next. Before you go, if you love college football, please be sure you subscribed. As most of you guys who watch my videos are not subscribed at this point, give the video a like if you want to support today's video so more people can see it, and check out all my other videos on the end screen, including my documentary with Harris highlights about Alvin Kamara's career. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.